Hi, Shahar. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I'm really happy that you said yes to be interviewed today. I'd like to introduce myself formally. My name is Nicolette. I am the creator for the podcast titled You're Worthless. Read that again, the juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, I'd like to read your introduction first before we dive into the conversation today. So, hello everyone. We have Shahar Boyayan here with us. Shahar is a leading expert in the fascinating intersection of consumer behavior and artificial intelligence. With her finger on the pulse of emerging technologies and their impact on commerce, Shahar offers invaluable insights into the future of consumer trends and business strategies. She is the author of the groundbreaking report, AI Driven Consumer Trends and Business Applications, Navigating the Near Future of Commerce, and the Eight Laws of Irresistibility. This seminal work has quickly become a go to resource for businesses looking to harness the power of AI in understanding and influencing consumer behavior. Known for her engaging speaking style, Shara has a unique ability to demystify complex concepts and present them in a way that's both accessible and actionable. She doesn't just predict the future of commerce, she shows us how to shape it. Wow, wow, wow. Welcome, Shahar. Welcome.
I'm so glad to be here.
Okay. I like to take my listeners and my guests a trip down memory lane. So the first question I always ask them is, what was it like growing up as a Shahar boy?
Well, that's a tough question, right? Well, there were moments of fun, right? And I was a very introspective kid, very, very, very shy. So for me, being inside my room playing with my toys was really happiness for me. It was a journey of self discovery until I could actually speak in public or in front of a camera. It was not easy at the beginning. But, being shy got in the way so much that I decided to take theater lessons to see if I could relate to people a little bit more better than I used to. So that's what I did. And that opened a lot of doors for me, right? I became a consultant. I was born in Brazil, by the way. And 20 years ago, I moved to the US with my daughter, two bags and a teddy bear, and we started a new journey. So I can say that I had a very interesting life, not always good and bad as everybody else. But yeah, I think it was to this day, self-discovery every single day. What can I do? What challenges can I accept?
Wow. And there's so many things that I want to, you know, um, pick from the sentence that you just said. So you went to the States 20 years ago with your daughter, a bag and a teddy bear. And you went there because of work or because of
Unfortunately, I had a brother, and one day he was getting out of a bank in Brazil, and he was assaulted and killed. And that really
oh, I'm
turned,
very sorry.
yeah, it was not a good moment. And that really made me very paranoid about everything, to the point that I would not allow my child to go out on the street by herself. And that was, I needed a big change in order to continue existing. And I had one friend in Utah, in the US, and I went there for a wedding. The only thing I could see is that besides being very pretty as a place, it was very calm, very safe. So I called my daughter and I said, I'm going back. We are going to sell everything and we are coming here. And we actually did that in 30 days. I sold my house, my car, everything I had. We got the visa that she needed, and off we went to Utah. I got there. A week later, my friend's husband got transferred to California. So
Oh,
short period of time, we were in a place where we didn't know anybody. We didn't know, you know, the American culture because of the movies, but that's the movie part, right? So I remember one day I was looking at the sky and I started crying because I thought, oh my gosh, even the stars are different here. How am I going to adapt? But baby steps, and it ended up being one of the best decisions we made in our lives.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. I mean, although 20 years fast forward, yeah, I I why I was asking and why I could resonate just a little bit was because I went to the States. I grew up watching,
Yeah.
American TV shows, and I've always wanted to go to the States as well. But I don't know, one thing led to another. I got let go from a job recently. I mean, this year, actually, not so recent. And then things happened. I started podcasting because I knew I didn't want to be in corporate. So I pivoted. And then in between, opportunity came, and I that prompted me to apply for my visa. And then I visited the States in September. And that was that defining moment to say I said to myself, you know what? I needed a big change too, because I think no, not I think, I was healing from my own trauma since
Hmm.
2019 and my divorce, and then corporate work not being my next, how I want to continue. So, how I'm resonating with you is that that trip was also the decision that made me say to myself, okay, I'm coming back and I'm closing my chapter in Kuala Lumpur. Actually, I'm now in East Malaysia.
Hmm.
So I'm back in my parents' house, and I decided that I also want to make a change. I do want to move to the States as well, but I'm coming back just to prepare things, make arrangements to make sure that I have something that I can land on when I'm there. So, wow. And this is why I was interested with your story as well.
Nice, nice. I think, we human beings, we hate change. Change is a word that we don't even use in marketing, right? But change is the only constant thing
Constant.
that is, right?
Yeah.
And with big changes come big challenges. So there's
Oh, yeah.
opportunities here for, of course, but it's not an easy journey either, right? Because as immigrants, we're never one of them. So
That's
the
so
long
true.
route, very complicated, very complicated. So you need to be prepared for whatever is ahead and understand that not everything is going to be easy peasy.
Smooth road. Well, well, thank you, Shahar. So you're now based in Utah, but you're just on a holiday in Puerto
Well,
Rico?
5 months ago, I think,
My God, another change.
see,
Wow,
you
awesome,
Utah is
brilliant.
gorgeous, right? And near Utah in Idaho, there is Yellowstone, which is my favorite place in the world. I love wildlife photography and I love to photograph bears. But it's super cold. After
Oh, is
20
that
years
so?
of snow, no, I can't take it anymore. So we came to Puerto Rico, which is the total opposite because, of course, it's an island. So you have this amazing weather. The culture here is a lot more, it's an American territory, but it has its Spanish roots. So it looks a lot more like Brazil than Utah. And we decided, if we don't take this chance of understanding other cultures, living in other places right now, well, soon I'll be too old for that. So our plan is to be here for about 2 years and then move to another place. How it goes.
I love it. I love the nomadic lifestyle, and it's so cool that your daughter is like, I'm all up for it. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
So what is your backstory about your career? Like, why AI? Like, why consumer behavior?
Well, I am a marketer. I've been a consultant, I believe, for about 35 to 40 years. I was a consultant for entrepreneurs in Brazil. I always had
Mhm.
my business. I had a talent agency for characters. It was called Funny Faces, like 35 years ago. And with that, I started giving some talks around the country and ended up working with big institutions for entrepreneurs. So, and I always specialize in consumer behavior because I think it's fascinating. Our mind is so complex. Our emotions are even more complex. And all that impacts how people understand business and that they do business. So the transition to AI is just, well, because that's exactly what we are doing now.
Natural.
All transitioning. So behavior is changing. The interesting part about that, Nicolette, is that we had a huge change in behavior when COVID was here. We were
Hmm.
forced to change our habits overnight. And of course, they didn't come back because once we change behavior, it doesn't go back to what it was before. And that's an important thing to understand. So we had that major change. And after the doors open, we've been living with those changes. Some we like and some we don't. For example, I hate to go to a restaurant and have to use the QR code for a menu. That's not what I like.
Oh, you don't like it?
Like the paper and
You
picture.
like the paper. Yeah.
But and now we are seeing the same type of very strong change with the AI, and many times we are doing that without realizing. Is that my watch tracks how I sleep, how deep I sleep, how much water I get in a day, and it's just here. So I'm not even conscious most of the time, but it's already tracking. The interesting thing is that AI is very good at predicting things, but it's not that good with understanding the nuances of human emotion. But it's going to get better. So in a very short period of time, we go to Netflix to watch something, and we will probably be Netflix will probably be able to measure what kind of mood I am today, and then refer what kind of movies or series I would be watching that day specifically because of my mood. So, we have to understand how this is going to work on a business level and on an emotional level, because we are in for I think it's the most powerful change we are going to see in our lifetime. And that includes all the behaviors we are going to adopt many times without being aware of that. So I think it's important for us to understand, okay, I need to be aware since the very beginning, because I also need to see how I'm going to balance what I allow AI to do or tell me what I want and what I am, and
Yeah.
what I'm going to actually take action on that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the last part you said, that was my question is going to come next. Like, how much should we allow? And allow is like a very bad connotation, because we're thinking that AI is gonna, is it's negative. The connotation is negative towards AI these days. And of course, I also use AI to edit all of my podcasts. And I thank you, AI, for that. Because as a podcaster many moons ago, I need a team, but right now it's just me. I do everything, recording all the way up to publishing. Although, of course, the editing, I'm not so good at that, but there are tools
Yeah.
out there, right?
Yeah.
So I think my question is like, how much should we stand alongside AI? Or the better question is like, yeah, how much should we integrate?
Yeah.
How can we ensure the AI is always going to work for our greater good? I guess that's the question. Hi, I'm Nick Nieras, your host of the Your Worthless podcast. Now, if these real raw stories hit home, don't wait. Please follow, like, and subscribe my Spotify and YouTube. For bite-sized inspirational reels, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Don't wait. Your transformation starts today. Thank you, and bye for now.
That is
Yeah.
tough, because there are parts that we can control and parts that we cannot control. So governments have to create regulations. Now, you talked about the danger of the AI. The problem is not the AI, is how much we allow our decisions to be made by AI, right? Because the problem is, I don't know how people are in Malaysia, but I know very well how they are here in the US. And we can get very lazy, right?
Yeah.
We start simply relying on the AI to do everything for us. And what's really complicated, to decide everything for us. We need to find, it's a dance. It's a very intricate dance on how much I will allow AI to determine and decide for me and how much I will not. Because there can be inner consequences for that. For example, a simple thing that we see today is how much young people rely on social media to actually determine how their self-worth. How many followers do I have? How am I doing here? Well, this is very complicated, because then when we go into real life, our relationship with people take another path, is different. So if we are allowing that with social media, how much more are we going to allow that with AI as a whole, right? Because AI is very good at algorithms. So it's mathematics for everything. And it's going to say you should be drinking this, you should be eating that, you should be feeling that way. But emotions are a lot more complex than that. So first thing we need to do is always exercise our critical thinking. We cannot be lazy on that. I have to, even if I'm watching something on social media today, I need to be thinking, is this real or is this AI? I have an example on my TikTok that I posted that AI created toddler singing on a toy guitar, a very cool song from Hawaii. And it was impressive, the number of comments of people saying how smart that toddler was, how blessed that kid was. And it was obvious he was too young to be singing that, and the toy guitar wouldn't play anyway, but people already assumed it was real. So this is that you have to be, let's exercise my critical thinking first. Self-reflection, Nicolata. We need to cultivate awareness of the influence AI is having on our decisions and regularly unplug to reconnect with your own inner voice. Now, we need to know when enough is enough. We have to have value alignments, because what is success? Is it 10,000 followers or somebody I can call in the middle of the night saying I'm not feeling well? Right? Where are our core values? We need to think about that. And authentic expression always. You need, even when communicating with AI, you need to share genuine thoughts and feelings, even if they don't align with whatever the AI is telling you, because you have to embrace your uniqueness in your perspective of life.
You just gave me that was a very good reminder on how I could actually also put my, excuse me, my emotions when let's say I'm using, the AI tools, the prompt, and put the emotion. Because, when you see all the social media that are being posted on LinkedIn or anywhere, some of these are just regurgitation from ChatGPT, and just like, and it's just like scrolling. You got to be very, very, it's almost like you said, it's a dance where you are authentic when you're putting your words, but you are using AI to just support and enhance that a little bit, but still not losing your essence.
Yes,
Right? It's that
and
mastery. Yeah.
right, all the
Yeah.
time. AI a lot. I use Claude more than ChatGPT, and even to create presentations, I use that. But the whole time, I'm not only reading, I'm saying, no, I think it's this way. And you make the AI adapt to what you want to say. It's better in creating the right sentences for you to say, but it still need to be your sentence. And what I see people doing, it even happened with my daughter-in-law. She needs to send a curriculum, a resume to a company. And she did on ChatGPT. She didn't read, right? She got interviewed and they asked, so you were an expert on this? And she was like, she never heard. And it was a very funny situation. But, and that's the problem. You start relying that the software, because that's what it is, it's going to do whatever is right for you. And that's where you lose your critical thinking. So you always have to be there. And
That's
it doesn't
true.
matter if people sell you prompts and stuff to say. You can use those. But then you say, I want this way. I want, and keep monitoring. So the AI actually learns how you actually think and expect.
Wow. Thank you for that, Shahar. That was a very, very good reminder to me as well.
Good.
Okay. In your report, AI-driven consumer trends and business applications, you discussed the 8 laws of irresistibility. What is this?
In that case, is how we become irresistible to a market. And if I am an entrepreneur or even if I am an influencer, what are the things that make people attracted to me? And this comes way before the style pictures you're going to post or the type of, I don't know, whatever you're going to put out there. So you need to think, okay, what makes me unique? First of all, is your promise to your audience, your market, right? It needs to be on an emotional level. And we tend to say, I am a massage therapist and I take good care of my clients. People don't pay attention to these things. But if you think the Harley Davidson, those motorcycles that people go and try to revive the 60s, they have a very compelling one that they say it's for machos or machos wannabe. They want to be on an adventure. That talks to us on an emotional level. So that's when you present yourself, be in social media or in your business, That's something. Then you have to find your unique voice, right? How do you express and what are you about? So, Nicolette, you decided to do a podcast about self-worth, talking to human beings about how to find that, how to foster that, how to see themselves in a better light. Well, that's your unique promise to your market, right? We all need to have that. And again, it needs to be on an emotional level, right? With all these things, we can incorporate AI, but we don't have to, right? You have to have this despite what you're using as a tool. And then other things that you can do as, for example, creating mysteries and rituals in your business or in your social media feed to attract people, because the mind cannot cope with an unanswered question. If it has an unanswered question, it sticks around you. So that's why Coke used to say that the formula Coke was a secret and only 3 people in the world knew. KFC did something similar, that the recipe was in 7 different places and nobody could put it together. I can go on Google and find that recipe in 5 minutes. But the mystery is what keeps us attracted to that. And rituals. If you look into any multi-level company or church, you will see that you belong to different levels. They are called levels of ascension, right? And in each level, there are things you're not supposed to know if you're below, right? And there are rituals, sometimes hand gestures, or sometimes other things that will tell you, I belong to this group. Well, we need to have that with us as well. So your own lingo, your own secrets, your own secret menus, things like that, to keep people really attracted to us. And again, with AI today, it makes it easier. Like you said, you don't need to have 4 or 5, 10 people to implement all this. A year ago, I had 16. Or today I have 3, because everything else is done by AI, and many times it's done better, and they don't complain. So,
Exactly. They
right?
don't have to talk back to you.
Nothing. No, they don't call
Nothing.
sick in the morning.
Yeah, no.
I have a podcast in 15 minutes. I need your help to create this. And they say, oh, I'm feeling sick
I'm
today.
sorry. Yeah, that is right. That is right. Wow. Ooh, I could apply this to me as well. And this is why I love talking to so many people, like yourself, especially because not just this is practically applicable anywhere, because, like it or not, we're marketing ourselves
Mhm.
all the time. And also, we're bombarded with marketing information all the time. So we have to be self aware which one is for us and which one is not for us.
Yeah, the fact is
Cool.
that if you don't position yourself right to start with, doesn't matter what you use to market, advertising, PR, whatever, it's not going to work well because your positioning is wrong. And most people don't know this. They think marketing is just promoting, promoting, promoting. I can promote all day. If I don't have something that attracts,
Mm.
to get any engagement, right? So positioning myself in a way that calls attention and tells who you are. You see, this is not something fake. It's not about, oh, I'm always going to wear pink because pink is my branding color. That's not what I'm talking about. They have to look at you and then I said, hey, you're a middle-aged woman. You don't have gray hair, all beautiful. You can see there's something different. What are you about? Right. And when I'm expressing myself, I might say I'm more on the liberal side. I believe in the trend of I just forgot the word. But there is a whole movement of older ladies that they dress in a very
Ageism. No.
no, it's not as there is another name. But they dress in a very, very, very distinct way when you turn your
Eccentric.
head when you look. And the
I love
reason,
it. We have the same color. My
right?
top is red too.
I love red. So the thing behind that is that as we age, we become more and more invisible to society. But let me take a step further. And with all this isolation that we learned with COVID and then with technology, we are all feeling kind of invisible, right? So there is a need to say, hey, I'm not invisible. I matter. I have something to say that can impact. Well, we need to translate that all day in everything, the way we wear, the way we express ourselves. because we are not invisible. We all matter. And if we have something to say that we think it can impact, we should say that. But that's the thing. When they come to me and they talk to me, they kind of get this. I don't need to repeat this all the time, right? They look at how I dress, they look at how I express myself, and they start getting. They either resonate with me or not. And if they don't, that's fine. They will find somebody to resonate with. But it's important to have your unique voice translating in everything you do, the way you talk, to the way you dress, to everything else, because else you will feel invisible, and that's not a very good feeling.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But you see, but being invisible or being visible also does not mean that you have to be on social media. Yeah, you just, I think it's about standing in your own essence, your own presence, and you could even not have a social media at all, but where you are in a community, it's you.
Yeah.
It's Nicolette, it's Shahar, and this is who they are. Yeah, because everybody seek that. I don't want to say validation, because validation is no. You need it's within you, and those are external ones, and it can be tagged as a different, not not the right type of validation.
Yeah, and not everybody needs social media. I mean, when
Oh
you are
yeah,
this, you kind of have no way out, right? Because it can be extremely costly to not do social media and just do the traditional thing. You have to do the traditional thing as well, but you need social media. So there's no way out. But you as an individual, hey, I'm not that much of a social person either. I love to stay home and watch TV with my family, right? I like to be alone. I don't have any issues being alone. So it depends to your personality, and that's what we are talking about. And that's where you put boundaries, including with AIs. You might have a year from now, you might have a robot in your house following you all around. How much are you going to allow that to happen? To what extent? What you will allow a robot to see or not? We will have to make these decisions. But the fact is that we need to be true to ourselves first. So if you don't like social media and you don't need to use social media, don't use it. Why do you need a bunch of people you don't know to be validating you all the time? That's not that's not a productive route. But there's nothing wrong with you exercising the fact that you matter. I, in my head, every time I go into a room, whatever room with people I go, I enter the room like I'm the queen of the castle. I'm the Because if I don't feel like that, how do I expect the others to actually see me?
yeah,
And I'm talking about technology, and I'm way over 50. So people don't know technology has to be a Gen Z talking about it, because they are digital. They were born. Well, they can be whatever they can be. I can be whatever I can be. And I need to
exactly.
be respected for that. So, you need to enter the room like you own it every single time, whatever room you're in.
And I'm very impressed with your background. When I read it, I'm like, wow, I could definitely learn a thing or two from her, especially in the space of AI.
Yeah. And there's some things that we need to think about this, because AI is coming to our lives. We all have it in our lives already. It's just going to get intensified. Like I said, you may use a smart pair of glasses, you may use the watches, you may use whatever, say Amazon say you might like this item as well, because they already know your purchasing behavior. I mean, we are here, and if I say the name of that little thing that stays in the corner, she's going to start telling me what I should put in my cart right now, because I
I
need it, right?
know.
So what we need to do is, in that dance that I said at the beginning, think about, okay, first, I need to have a mindful engagement in the way I approach AI recommendations. I need always to have curiosity and skepticism. Don't take
No.
everything as true. They are called artificial intelligence. So we think, oh, it's more intelligent than me. No, it's not. So, because it learns with you and from you. So, curiosity and skepticism for everything. Question the motives behind any personalized content or ads that you see. because it's trying to sell you something and it's trying
Exactly.
based on some kind of data. So always question that. You need to put digital boundaries. You need to set intentional limits on notifications that you get and suggestions that you get. And you need to create for yourself tech-free zones and times in your daily life. So, for example, I love crafts a lot. I need to be creating. I'm ADD, so that's how I work my anxiety and other things. So when I go in my studio, I might have an iPad if I need to look at a picture. But other than that, it's technology free. It's me and my thing. We need to create those boundaries and have a place where we are by ourselves, because that's good. And the third one is diverse exploration. You actively seek out content and experience outside what the AI is telling you. Because we are going to have AIs telling you what to do in the weekend, where to go. This is already coming. So you need to be out of that bubble every now and then. Embrace serendipity and unexpected discoveries. Don't rely everything on what the AI is going to tell you what to do. Because we are going to have that with travel, with a lot of other things in our lives. And we need to say, okay, you can come up to here, but don't come in this space here.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Can you share an example of a company that's effectively using AI to enhance customer experience? Becoming a podcast host was a natural extension of my second act. And after spending 15 years in the corporate world, I've transitioned to helping individuals overcome challenges like navigating tough relationships, career burnout, and aligning their mission with their soul's calling. By certifying as an RTT hypnotherapist and a lifestyle coach, I've made it my mission to empower people to recreate the life they deserve and building a supportive community through my podcast. Now, let me ask, are you facing challenges like struggling to reprogram your mind to attract wealth, weight issues that feel like a constant yo-yo, insomnia or restless nights from daily worries, or just a lack of confidence in public speaking? If the answer is yes, visit www.thenickdarasholisticlifestyle.com and grab a free hypnosis audio of these common struggles. It's a sneak peek into how my coaching works. Are you feeling shy? Don't be, because I'm as real as it gets. Let's connect on Instagram and LinkedIn and start your transformation today.
Again, Sephora creates a line of beauty products. I can actually go today on their website and they're going to scan. You've seen that before, that you can scan and try the products, but it's going to match exactly with your flaws as well. So let's say I have a spot here that I would like to hide. It's going to show me which products I have to wear in order to accomplish what I want. So it's based not only on the shape of my face and skin color, but all the things that could be improved. And if I go to a store to talk to a Sephora specialist, they will be able to pull that out of the computer and already know exactly what you need. So what the experience you have online, you can take to the store, and then you're going to get exactly with those products. So it's using that in a very cool way. But you have smaller businesses like restaurants, for example. It's going to be very important for us. We are having a movement to hyper personalization, right? So we want everything personalized to us. Why? Because of that invisibility factor that I told you. So I want to feel special in every single way. I can go to a restaurant, point at a menu and see how that dish is prepared in the background. You will pop up a video that shows me how it's prepared. You will learn what I order. So next time I come to that place, it's going to say, hey, Shahar, why don't you have today the wontons with spicy sauce, for example, because you did enjoy that last time. Or try this new one that has the same sauce, but is this way, right? So it's going to start knowing my habits in eating at that restaurant and suggesting things. So you already have, from smaller to very big businesses, different ways of approaching the AI. People tend to think that to implement AI is very expensive and complicated. It is not. For pennies on the dollar, for example, I can have an AI answer my phone right now. Let's say we are here talking. My phone is not here. Let's suppose it's ringing and it is a prospect for a business, right? The AI can answer. It's going to answer the questions. It's going to sound superhuman, and it's going to book an appointment or a podcast interview for me without me having to be there. That's what I call the digital doppelganger. We are going to have doubles of ourselves in other situations. That is super cheap. It's less than $100 for you to implement in your business, right? But it's amazing because let's say I have a restaurant and I'm sleeping, the restaurant is not open right now. Well, the AI could be answering the phones and booking parties for Christmas. So I would be really making money in my sleep because I have that installed. It's simple, it's inexpensive, and it needs to have adoption, especially of small business. The big ones, they have the budget to invest and test, and the small business doesn't. So it tends to be waiting to see where is it going. And that's when you are left behind. You need to be curious, skeptic, and trying things to see what's going to be good for you.
I'm going to take all of this and apply to my own business too. Thank you. All right. We talked about this, but let's elaborate a little bit more. What role do you see emotion and human psychology playing in an increasingly AI-driven marketplace?
Well, we need to talk about how are we inserting authenticity in everything that we do with AI. So like I gave you the example when you go to ChatGPT, you need to maintain a genuine self-expression in an AI that is going to be telling you all the time what you should be doing. It's going to be the mother of all times, right? We all had that mother that was telling us what to do all the time, and I don't want to do. We will have to be that teenager again and say, I don't like that. I'm going to do it my way, right? We need to work on our growth and the growth of AI in our lives. What role should AI play in personal development and in goal setting? How much are you going to give your input? And how are you going to create meaningful relationships? Because AI can be in your life for everything. I'm already seeing ads of AI companions for you to have, like boyfriends and girlfriends, right? So how much are we?
Should
Yeah,
I go?
it's already very, very real. And there's actually there was already a very sad outcome with a teenager boy that had a girlfriend that he loved very much and she was not real. And the AI malfunctioned and asked him to come live with her. And he decided to do that. So that's how dangerous it can get as well if we lose our critical thinking, right? So we need to exercise that every single day because, an AI boyfriend is not going to tell you you're too chubby. It's not going to tell you you're dumb. It's not going to tell you to wash dishes when you don't want to. So it's there to please you, but you need to understand is it still not real, right? So those boundaries is really something that we will all have to discuss because our emotions many times take the best of us. And, especially if you think a teenager that they get, I don't know how it is in Malaysia, but here in the US, it's very complicated, the amount of bullying that people go through. If you're different, if you're not, into whatever the other kids are into, it can be very, very emotionally draining just being at school. It's not a fun experience for a lot of kids. Well, so it's easy to come home, get the AI to fulfill all the other side of what we wanted our lives to be. So that's where we are all going to be discussing and, putting our foot forward and say, too much here, and asking the governments to put regulations in place as well. Because there is the dangerous side of taking over. Yes, there is. But, we are still in control here. But if we don't exercise that on an individual level, we cannot expect that this will be exercised on communities either. I don't
Wow.
want to on a dark note, but with
Yeah,
every
but it's
there is a
important.
bad
Yeah.
side as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. What are you working on currently, Shahar?
You know, Basically my day has been to get the word about how people are changing their behavior due to AI. And because my whole day is talking to business owners is how do you get prepared? Because again, for big companies, that's not a big deal. I can put a whole department and budget on that. For the smaller
Yeah.
donor, no, I'm thinking, do I pay the bills or do I buy a droid, right? So what can be done that will put you forward now? Because we really cannot be just sitting and waiting to see what happens. And to everybody to exercise critical thinking, understand that we have to have a balanced coexistence with AI because AI is not going away either. We need to have some digital literacy. We need to learn about it. It's amazing the amount of business owners I talk to that have never tried ChatGPT. I have people that are already tired of using it and people that never try. We need to go and try. Most of these tools, they are free at the beginning, so you should be testing them. Like you said, you edit your podcast with an AI. Yes, why not? Why not? Why are you going to add hours of work into your life if you can decrease that with AI and many times not even have to pay for that, right? And always cultivate self-awareness and empathy because this is very unique for humans. And AI don't have empathy. They don't have moral compass. They don't have ethics. We have that. So we need to practice that every single day.
And you mentioned one tool besides ChatGPT. You use an alternative. What?
I use for text, I use Claude. The main reason I use Claude, I think it's more intelligent than ChatGPT. And it has 4 different models. So I can create graphics. I can it's not that you cannot do that with GPT, but I think with Claude you get better results. And it learns really fast, so it starts to understand. The only downside with Claude is that it doesn't keep the memory like GPT. Now, and say, hey, I have a company that does AI marketing, blah, 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 right? Whatever. With Claude, I have to go to the conversation I had about that. That's the only
Mm.
at this point. But it creates better with with the prompts all the time is creating better things for me. And for videos, right? I don't know what you use, but I am in love with Opus because
Hopeless.
for people like you, they use long form content like a podcast that's 40 to an hour. Well, it's perfect because when it cuts in several segments, they all make sense. I used softwares before that they cut everything, but then it doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to post that anywhere. But Opus, it actually contains the nugget right there in that segment. So I really like it. When I create long form content, I put it there because then I have 50 videos to keep posting on social media.
Right. Yeah. I use Riverside.
Huh?
So when it's been improving ever since the first day. I started podcasting last year, so it has added so many features, and mm, I love it. I love it.
They're all becoming better every single day.
Exactly, and you can't even, like, you're trying to catch up with it, but undeniably, it's definitely making my life easier. Okay, Shahar, we're gonna pivot to a self-worth question. So the question for you:
Hmm.
Imposter syndrome is a common challenge that affects people in various fields. How can one overcome imposter syndrome and recognize their true value and capabilities?
I think imposter syndrome is something that we all have, right? And it doesn't matter if you went to college, if you did a master's, if you have a PhD, that will set in every single time. I mean, for me, many times coming into a podcast that is about technology, my imposter syndrome comes in several ways. Then the first one is you're too old for this. They don't even expect somebody your age to be there. So it comes. I think you actually have sometimes to list how you impact others, and I'm a big believer that we need to show our gratitude for small things every single day because they help us discover ourselves. So I always, when I go to bed, I say 3 things I'm grateful that happened that day, not when I was a kid or anything, that day. Because I'm exercising the fact that I need to see positivity every day because it's very easy to see the negative side. It attracts us like a magnet, right? So we need to remind us that we are grateful for the things. I'm grateful for being here with you right now. And that also tells me why I need to be grateful for myself. Because, hey, after all, I am here, right? I was given this blessing because it is a blessing. My brother couldn't be here today. So I have to make the most I can of every day, and I am enough. It doesn't matter. I am here. I'm going to go through that door as if I own the place. And if they ask me something I don't know, I'll make it look like an answer. And that's it.
Yeah,
Right? That it is what it is. I am enough. I don't need to be different. I
exactly.
don't need to look like an influencer. I don't need to have the same phone. I don't need nothing matters. What matters in life is the experiences that you have and what impact you can have on other people. And impact doesn't have to be anything huge. Sometimes you teach a person how to crochet because that's how they are going to unload their emotions later. That's an impact. We don't need to be thinking like everything is here beyond me. I am enough. And if I teach somebody to do something that they can have a good time or just smile, that's enough, right? But I think we all have that imposter coming up. And, you shouldn't come here today. You're not going to be able to answer the questions and things like that. Yeah, we're just normal. We're just people, humans.
I love that. Thank you
I
for that
rather be a
reminder.
human any day than an AI, by the way.
Of course, preach to the choir. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. What is your heart's greatest wish?
What? I didn't
What is
understand.
your heart's greatest wish?
Well, right now my mind is set in I need to know more places and more cultures. And I need to
Come
try
to Malaysia.
more.
Then you have a
More.
you
You
have
have
a
no idea. Asia as a whole is on my bucket list. I love it. And it's interesting too, because in the US everybody thinks they are on the top of the world. And in many situations they are. But when it comes to technology and AI, you have certain places in Asia that are way ahead, right? I
exactly.
research a lot and you see the videos and you see, the day-to-day simple things that you say, my gosh, why we don't have this here? So,
And yet you said you're number one.
yeah, and the food. I like street food everywhere I go,
Oh
everywhere.
my gosh,
Because
you would
that's,
love the street food here.
I bet, that's where you really know the culture. And if I'm taking anything from this life, I need to take that, understanding people, understand different cultures, what hurts them. I came here to Puerto Rico, and everybody's always talking just about the good side, but there is a very negative side. It is a territory, it's a colony, right? And you start looking at the people, and sometimes you think they're too close, but it's a self protection mechanism. So I think it can only enrich my life understanding that and maybe helping in the process as well. So for me, that's my desire. It's nothing. I don't want to have a Tesla. I don't care about them. I don't want to. That doesn't matter to me.
I love that. Do you have a mantra that you live by?
You know, I. In business, you're always having ups and downs. It's much like emotions, right? Ups and downs, ups and
Yeah.
downs. So there is a Chinese proverb that says, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8." So every time I'm having a very bad day, I remind myself I just need to stand up again. So that's one that is always on my mind. Is doesn't matter how many times you fall, stand up again.
Yes, this is my therapy for today. I love it. If you could create a quote right now for you to leave to the audience listening and the world as your legacy, what would it be?
Mindfully engage with what can improve, but learn to say no. I think that's something we will have to talk a lot of times when we allow AI. Sometimes AI comes into your life. I bought glasses that can photograph and film, and I talk to the glasses and stuff like that. So, like $200. So I put something of AI. The other day I was in the car and I was touching my normal glasses, trying to talk to my glasses. So, and I know that's not a senior moment, is that we have to mindfully be engaging, but at the same time understanding when to say no. We just think it's a tango. and you will have to learn how to dance that. I think that's important.
How can people reach out to you, Shahar?
Well, I'm on any social media with my name. I know it's hard to spell, but you have on screen right now, so you can target that. I would love if you follow me. I can also offer report that I wrote about AI consumer trends that we are having right now. So it's going to be very good for 2025. And if you want that, you can go to proptalky.com. It's PROPTAL/AI-trends. And you can get that as well. And that also puts you in touch with me if you want. And it has just
Awesome.
8 different trends that we are seeing today that could be adopted.
And anybody can just access that and get it for free?
Yes, it's free. It's free. And understand that even though it was written for businesses, if you are into social media, trying to be an influencer, all the rules apply. It's like having a business. So you can use that.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm going to go and do that afterward.
Awesome.
And there you have it, everyone. You heard it straight from the source. Before we wrap up, Shahar, I want to thank you personally for the incredible work you're doing for the world.
My
Despite the challenges, you continue to push forward, paving the way for those that will follow in your footsteps. Your dedication is truly inspiring. And you're welcome. And for our listeners, this has been the podcast with that provocative title, You're Worthless. Read that again. The juxtaposition of your very soul. Now, if you've ever found yourself feeling worthless, you're not alone. But more importantly, ask yourself a deeper question. If I'm worthless, then why am I here? The truth is, your soul chose to be here energetically, coming all the way from the ethers. For that reason alone, you are worthy and you are enough. And with that, this is Shahar Boyayan, our guest of the day, and I'm Nick Niaras, your host, signing off. Thank you so much, Shahar, for your time.
Thank you very much.